been talking about the different kinds of case management at Aging and In-Home Services of Northeast Indiana. Now we have a couple case management supervisors. Carly and Kelly have joined me. We're going to talk about person-centered planning. We've talked about that. Megan and I have talked about it before, how everything at Aging and In-Home Services is person-centered and why that makes you guys kind of unique among other area agencies. Yeah, I knew I was going to mess that up, but the AAAs, that's what we got. Yeah. So let's talk about person-centered planning and how that relates to case management. Tell me what person-centered planning is in your world.
So really, person-centered planning is figuring out through conversations what's important to and what's important for the individual we're working with. And so important to is really about
their lifestyle maybe, or what matters to them?
Exactly, what matters to them, what gives them purpose, what gives their life meaning, things like that. And then important for is really about what keeps them healthy and safe in their home. And surprisingly, sometimes what's important for them, not always important to them.
That is true. So, you think about it, yeah, that's so true. So what do you do in that instance? How do you make that work together?
It's really just sitting down, having that conversation with them, figuring out what's best for them, what's the safest option for them, what meets their needs, their health needs, their emotional needs, and coming up with that plan of services that meet all of those needs to make sure they are safe in their home.
And that really is what, like Megan and I were talking about, that's really what's most important. That's what you want, is for them to age in place and for them to get to stay home. So you really, what your job is at that point when you're doing that is to let them advocate for themselves. Do you find that people really know when you were saying what they want, what they need, do people know? Do you have to help them dig a little bit to figure that out?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's really just making sure they're at the core of the decision making. So you have that conversation, you ask those tough questions that Megan mentioned, and you get to the bottom of what they actually need and make sure it all comes together full circle of keeping them safe.
That my problem would be what I need and what I want. What's important for me is you encouraging me that what I need is more important. that would be what would be challenging for me. So then, how does the process start then? You have that conversation. Where does it go from there?
So from there, we have that conversation. We try and figure out how to balance those important twos and important fours, like you had mentioned. And figuring out what plan works best for them. So, for instance, maybe the individual you're working with doesn't want outside assistance to come in, an unknown person, and they would prefer a family member do that. So we can work with different programs that we have to try and get the family member to either be hired and be able to be a paid support, or do like a program like a structured family caregiving as well.
Are you involved the whole time? So is it that kind of continuity of care, so to speak?
Absolutely. Yes, we're involved throughout the whole process. We do the assessment, we get the services set up, and then we do ongoing assessments to make sure their services are still meeting their needs, they're still working for them. As needs increase, we work with them to increase their services in order to keep them home.
That is true. As we continue to age, as your situation or your health or whatever changes, those needs would clearly change. And so it would be an ongoing process, that's for sure. Well, I would like to hear about some success stories. So we're going to hear how case management has worked and has worked well. We will do that when we come back.